What's up, Vankas? Before we start this what's going to be an incredible episode, we have a new sponsor, Podcorn.
Yeah, that's right. This is going to be a fucking unbelievable episode, so stick around for it. Don't skip ahead. Don't skip ahead, you pieces of shit. Podcorn is an amazing website and service that connects podcasters with, say it with me, advertisers. And we have used Podcorn. Had the advertisers, some of the amazing advertisers you heard on this podcast, we found through podcorn.com, an Odyssey company.
Yep. Yeah, fucking the dick pills that we've been selling you through Podcorn. So you're welcome.
The chewable tablets. The chewable tablets. Let's be perfectly clear.
And so thank you, and you're welcome. And so Podcorn is fucking incredible, and has literally been making us money and could make you money. So you should be using Podcorn, and click link in the show notes and to sign up if you're a podcaster and you want to fucking try to come at the podcasting gods. Okay,
that's right, dude.
You never give up any rights to your podcast. There's no middleman. It just cuts it right out, and you could start fucking printing dollar bills, yo. So
You'd be rolling in the bank like the red flags using podcorn.com and Odyssey Company. So use Podcorn and just know that the red flag sent you there, babe.
All right. Yes.
Okay, Matt, let's get into this fucking race. I didn't get to say a hello, Venkas. What the fuck is up, Venkas?
Oh, Brian, are you having trouble breathing? Because I know you're in Breck right now and the air is thin, and that race was fucking Liddy McLitlit, as the kids probably say.
Let me tell you that my blood pressure has been going up and down because I'm in altitude. I'm in Colorado. When I go down to tie my shoes, I come back up and I see stars. And you know what? I didn't think I was going to see any stars in this fucking race today. I thought that we were going to spend this entire episode talking about how fucking Nelson Piquet is a racist piece of shit. But you know what? He's going to have to go on the back burner because that was the best race that I've ever seen in my entire life, baby.
It was the best thing. I mean, if I'm ever lucky enough to be a father and I get to watch my child being born, I think it's still going to be second to what I just fucking saw. That was so fucking like a birth. It was beautiful, and it was fucking carnage.
It was carnage.
Being in that birthing room is carnage.
It was painful. It was terrifying. I had to hold my breath, something that I've been trying to not do because my brain has been lacking oxygen up in this altitude. But I mean, where to even fucking begin? What an amazing fucking day this was.
Yeah. I mean, I woke up at 7. I'm sitting on the couch. I'm like, there's no way that this race is going to fucking... I'm going to be fucking having to think about all the fucking, nuanced racial discussions I had in college 10 years ago.
Right.
I'm starting to pull out old textbooks.
Yeah. Right.
Learning about fucking microaggressions and hidden transcripts and and then this fucking race happened. We'll get into
and we'll get into that, okay? We'll get into that CRT, okay? We'll get into it. But I think we need to start I think we need to talk about turn 1 of the Silverstone GP 2022.
Oh my God.
I mean,
so the race begins. First of all, let me just say, can I just say about the British people are pieces of shit because they are so goddamn cocky, but they're quietly cocky. That's the thing. Americans are loudly cocky. We get a lot of flack for it. British people, they're just as cocky as Americans, but they're quiet about it. They're like, it's the British GP. You can't, they're talking about it. Well, it's the British GP. It's very important. It's actually, you can't really have an F1 race. There's really no F1 without the British GP. I'm like, I couldn't give a fuck. Like, just make sure it's lit. I don't care about the. I understand it's important for British people, but are people watching in Italy care about the silver? It's just like they're so up their own asses. I don't ever really get that hung up on British bias, but they were like deep throating Silverstone this whole week. They're like, well, yes, the legendary British GP started in 1950, one of the oldest races there is. And I'm just like, who cares? Just is it gonna smack? And you know what? It smacked.
Well, it's a track that smacks. It's a track that smacks, and at the end of the day, it's a track that smacks. It's a high-speed corners.
I don't care if they built it yesterday.
Right. Of course.
Monaco is a track that doesn't smack, and I'm like, I don't care. Well, because you know what? This got lost in the shuffle. But F1 is considering a Nice GP, which they say is in no way a threat, like a negotiating tactic with Monaco, which is the most gangster shit ever. They're using Nice as because Nice is like a beautiful coastal.
Oh, I see.
Gorgeous.
I see. Nice, France. Nice, France. Okay.
They're holding Nice as like a, hey, we can jump to Nice, and most people won't know the difference. So
right.
Just stop being crazy, Monaco. Because people are saying there's no Monaco without F1. I mean, most new fans fucking don't even know what Monaco is. So anyway.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Monaco. I'm here to talk about fucking Zhou Guan Yu fucking slid across the gravel and flew into the fucking barriers.
And I knew once they didn't. I saw like a burst of. I saw something like crazy happen.
In the background.
Like in the background, I was like, that was insane. I'm like, can't wait to see the replay. They don't show the replay, and I'm just at that point, I know it's bad.
Yeah,
at that point, you know it's bad.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was watching it with Catherine and her parents, and they were like, "Why aren't they showing the replay?" I was like, "Because it's bad. It's maybe because it's bad. Because they don't want to show the replay." I got to give a shout out to F1 because if that was a guy like snapping his leg, they would have shown that shit like 100 times in football. Mm-hmm. Right.
They're like, let's look at that again. Oh, and it's just his leg. They would have shown that shit from every angle. Yeah, that's a real bad tendon. That's gonna ruin his life right there. Look at that. You see how the bone just flaps? Right. They don't care in football. They're savage. They were like, we're not going to show it until we know that he's alive, and they were to just show it from all angles. And
Like, wow. Then they're going to show it like, let's zoom right in on his head, scraping across the gravel. Like,
and then I was going to the driver cams. I went to Zhou's driver cam, and they actually cut it out.
Wow.
They're like,
Yep. Yep.
But then I was looking at other driver cams, and you could kind of see it was.
Well, you saw the Gasly driver cam. Well, what's crazy about how this whole crash happened is that part of the reason this crash happened is because Nicholas Latifi got a start from the gods, okay? Nicholas Latifi got an amazing start and fucking passed Zhou and passed George Russell right away. And then Gasly's that's what happened. Fucking Nicholas Goat Tifi, amazing.
Because he had the softs on.
He had the softs on, and Russell had the hards on. But he got a great start and just passed them right away, like within 10 meters. And then Gasly saw. He goes, well, wait, Nicholas Latifi is going to pass this?
This was not part of my plan.
This is not part of my plan. Okay, well, if Latifi can pass through this gap, then certainly there's a fucking, Alpha Tauri-sized hole between these two cars. And so he started going up the middle. Russell, I don't know, didn't see him there, went to close the gap, clipped, Gasly's front right, clipped Russell's left rear. Russell goes straight into Zhou, and you just see Zhou immediately flip. He just flips.
It was a butterfly effect, and then he goes on his upside down. And then Brundle was very smart. Was like the gravel lowers it, so maybe his head is at this point.
Right.
Now the halo is maybe not even working because the halo's now sunk in.
Yeah,
and then it flips over the thing.
Absolutely crazy.
Which is crazy. And I'm thinking they're doing the meatball flag, the black and orange flag, and I'm like, hey, and they're talking about jewelry. They're talking about is it safe with the jewelry and the underwear? Maybe figure out how to not have barriers that fucking pin your drivers. So your medical this was a hard one to predict. That it's going to go upside down and then flip over the barriers and then get sandwiched
at the exact time. it flipped at the perfect time to go over those barriers. And then he's sandwiched in between. The photo,
can't get to him.
They can't get to him, and they can't get him out. Seemingly, he was conscious the whole time. Thank God.
If he was
that was really bad.
if he had sustained an injury and time was of the essence, he would have been fucked.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they have to do to make sure. I don't know. There's a million different iterations of which a car can crash and fly, but that was bad. He was stuck there. It took him so long to get him out, and it seemed like he was fine.
He was at the track later. An hour later. So
we were joking about this. We were joking about this at the end of the day, Charles Leclerc had a more painful race than Zhou Guanyu. Zhou Guanyu's like, yeah, I'm chill, I'm fine. And Charles Leclerc had he just had the, hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again because of visions. I mean, there were some pissed off motherfuckers. I mean, there was a moment because Gasly got taken out by Yuki Tsunoda. Not to
right, a little bit later.
For me, this was important. Gasly is just he has that pissed off face again, where he's so angry. They ask him about the Yuki Tsunoda incident, and he just looks up and he goes, I'm sorry, what was the question? He didn't even hear the question. They had to repeat the question. He's so homicidally angry. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
I guess I'm a little bit. What's going on with Gasly? What's up with him? Because I feel like he's fallen into my rear view. I'm not paying attention. Yuki's actually been performing a little bit better than him this season in a handful of races. I'm a little bit
not today.
Not today. Not today. But, I mean, Gasly was involved in that. I mean, he was involved in that accident.
No, Yuki tried to pass him. He lost control of the car and then hit him.
No, I know. And they both spun out in perfect unison. That was actually, like, kind of – I was like, this is synchronized
swimming. Yes.
Synchronized F1 right here.
Yeah, it was – but that's like a Z story. We can talk about.
Yeah, we don't care about that.
We don't care about that. But
the other thing that happened was that Albon. What's the status on Albon? Because Albon also got caught up. He seems more
hurt than
Zhou.
Than Zhou,
which is crazy because Zhou's crash was so spectacular and Albon it looked like nothing. But as you know, sometimes he crashed into a cement barrier. He hit a cement barrier,
and he got rear-ended.
And then he got just like jockeyed back and forth. I think
because Vettel slammed him, right?
Yeah. I think that Jenny said that they did helicopter him, but it was just a precaution. And I think, let's see, Albon. Let's see if we can get a status on Alexander Albon.
Jenny Albon has cut some of this.
Yeah, cut this. All right, he's escaped major injuries, is what this article is saying.
But does he have like a concussion or something? Maybe.
I don't think that information is available yet. But you know, in terms of he might, because I mean, yeah, he got jockeyed around. He hit the cement barrier, then he got hit twice in the fucking chaos of that whole race, in that whole first turn. It was just crazy. And you know, we like to talk a little bit of smack about George Russell, but we got to give George Russell some kudos today because George Russell, after that crash, jumped immediately out of his car and did fuck up the rest of his race. He went to go check on Zhou. So you got to give some props to George Russell.
Yeah,
I know you've got something snide that you want to say.
I was trying to think of a thing to say that was mean, but I really couldn't. I mean, he looked a little silly running in that racing suit because that racing suit is so tight and
right. Obviously, I noticed that. I noticed that.
I'm like but I can't be that rough on him. It looked a little Ricky Bobby-ish. The way they're running at the end.
Sure.
Because those suits are really firm. They don't allow for much freedom of movement. I don't think.
Sure. Right. They kind of restrict. You can't get a full stride.
Yeah, I don't think he was looking kind of silly running. I'm like, I don't know if you're going to beat the marshals there. But
he knows the car. He knows the car better than the trackside person. So you got to give it up to him. And he did get. So I guess that rule was a little bit confusing. It was like because what he said is because he told the marshals don't touch my car, don't touch it, and then they touched it. They I guess craned it out of there.
Yeah,
put it on a truck and craned it out of there. And when you do that, you can't go back in the race.
Once your car gets moved by someone else, you're fucked. It's over.
Right.
And if he had stayed in the
gravel,
car,
yeah, but if he was in the gravel anyway, half the time the people go in the gravel, the car just gets stuck there and you can't move. So
sometimes you can get out though.
Right.
Sometimes.
So he would have had for him to stay in the race, he would have had to maybe not get out of his car. So I don't know if you can get out of your car, then get back in and go on the racetrack and go to the pit lane. I think that the second he got out of his car, that was it for his race. And if he was truly being selfish, he would have just stayed in the car, tried to get out of the gravel and bring it home to the pit so that he could stay in the race. And for all we know, he could have, if he had done that, he would have. He said that he had a chance at P6, which he definitely could have because fucking Perez was at P17 and at lap 6 and fucking finished in second. So,
Yeah,
you got to give shout-outs to George Russell.
It was madness.
Chaos.
Because all this shit happens, everyone's kind of worried about what happened. Gasly goes to Alfa Romeo. Is like, what the fuck is happening? And then they say, we missed the part where Max Verstappen just, in an alternate universe, just runs away with this race. Picks Sainz's fucking pocket. Yeah, it's just like that. Staples button. That was easy, and just like fucking just does it what exactly we thought was going to happen. I was like, right. It was like, oh, this is just when Sainz got pole. I'm like, oh, this is going to hurt more when he gives it up.
Yeah,
and then they go. The FIA goes, oh, because they didn't complete a sector. Right. Everything goes back to the way it was. But I'm like, but things aren't going back to the way it was. Like, 2 people are out of the race. Like, things did happen. Do you know what I mean? You can't just say nothing happened. Right. Because in that case, if nothing happened, then Zhou is in the race, Albon's in the race, Russell's in the race. Right. It's kind of a weird. It doesn't logically make sense to be like, well, things have to go back to exactly the way they were, minus. It doesn't really make sense. So.
Well, we also and we can't forget the fact that Hamilton had a fucking beastly start as well, past Leclerc and Perez in 2 seconds.
Right. And then Ocon lost a bunch of places, which I was so hard for, and they're like, no, Ocon's got to go back to where he was.
Yeah, back to P11 for Ocon. And you're like,
Ocon had major damage that he got to fix.
Yeah,
like son of a bitch. His luck ran out finally. Like something. His luck left him, and then entered the body of Carlos Sainz, and then And then I was like, thinking, oh, is this just going to just suck even harder when Sainz blows this again? Mm-hmm. If I was Sainz, I'm like, just let him have it. Right. But then they do then they have to reshuffle the cars again. Weirdly, Lewis is scootering. He's always scootering. What is it with him in that fucking scooter? And people have to get out of his way. And then he's rushing. Did you see him? He went into the Aston Martin paddock. I'm like, what is he doing in the Aston Martin paddock?
Yeah, I didn't see that. I mean,
have no idea what he's doing there. But they reshuffle the deck. Right. And Carlos Sainz makes am I missing anything?
No. They reshuffle the deck and Carlos, because he got his second chance. Second time
and
around.
Latifi, who lost his big chance after making up all those places. Right. Carlos Sainz gets
Matt, hold on. Matt, like the mic, you're all over the place.
Sorry. Carlos
in the same place the whole time. You just got to.
Carlos Sainz makes a great opening lap. He defends really well.
Yeah. He fucking makes an aggressive move on Max. That was a fucking sexy little move. He was like, Max is going to be coming for me, and I'm not going to have that shit. So he makes an aggressive move. It's always okay. Here's the thing that I have to say. It feels like a lot of times at these tracks, P1 is kind of not in actually the best position to make the first turn, and on this one, it's like it's on the outside, and these first turns, if it's just like. Wouldn't you think that you'd want to be on the inside? It feels like P2 a lot is like actually the better position to be in to start the race because you're on the inside line. And I might be stupid, but we saw in the famous TV show Drive to Survive, which honestly at this point I can't even remember. I don't remember what happened on that show because I'm too rock hard for what actually happens in real life. But like the Russian Grand Prix when he was like it's better to start third than
it depends on the track. It depends on the track,
but it seems like on this one I was like, it seemed like P2 is actually a better position to hit that first turn. But I might be stupid, but that's what it seems.
Sometimes it just depends on like wherever Max is starting. That's the best place to start.
Right. Yeah,
but
the best place to start is wherever Max Verstappen is starting on the grid. That's usually the best place to start.
Carlos Sainz. Exactly. No, but this time Carlos Sainz was like, I'll wreck us both.
Right.
I'm pointing the car wherever you are. And great. And this is what I've learned about Carlos Sainz. This is why he has a career in F1. Because he clearly lacks the raw pace.
Right.
He's very smart.
Uh-huh.
And he has great racecraft. He puts the car in the right places.
Yeah.
So he learned from his mistakes. He started well, and he put the car where it needed to be.
Totally.
In order to prevent that thing from happening. And then Perez got hit. Verstappen got hit. And
no, Verstappen didn't get hit.
He got hit by debris.
But that was later, wasn't it? Was that at that? Because what the question is, like, what did happen with Verstappen? Because all of a sudden the race is going on.
He hit a curb.
Okay.
And then I think there might have been debris. I don't know. We're recording this pod too early.
Right. We don't really know what happened. This is mere hours after the race finished. So we don't.
These cars are so low to the ground now, and they're so floor sensitive that any little damage to the floor is going to completely. Max immediately is like, car's broken. He says,
"Oh yeah,
He goes, car's 100% broken." He says 100% broken.
Yeah.
And they have to bring him in. It's a whole fucking disaster. But I mean, Carlos Sainz did not deserve to win this race. He's trying to stay behind. Who is it, Max at this point? When he's
trying to stay behind. He's trying to keep up with Max because hold on. This restart, those first few laps of that restart were so fucking sexy. Charles Leclerc was coming in like a torpedo, coming in hot, like it or not. I'm Charles Leclerc, hold my beer, and you know what? I might be stupid, but I'm an uncut gem and fucking... That's what's coming later for me, is a lot of that, but he came in so aggro, and he was challenging on Verstappen. That first lap of the restart was impeccable. It was so fun to watch. But yeah, I mean, but in that kerfuffle, he and Perez wind up hitting.
Right.
He and they both fuck up. Both of their front wings are fucked. But Leclerc's front wing, the right side of his front wing, just fucking pops off and just flies off. Whereas Perez's front right wing is like dragging on the fucking floor.
And for some reason, they don't get him out of the race like Gasly.
Well,
they're a little selective.
Well, the thing is, it's like the black and orange flags. If there's something that's broken on your car, that's potentially dangerous to. Like,
why is that not potentially dangerous?
What?
What was hanging off of Perez's?
No, it was. They brought him in.
Right.
He went in immediately. Because Perez had his fucking thing dangling on the floor, he had to come in, get a new front wing, drops all the way to like to 17th, or however many cars are left, and it's like, okay, well, his race is fucked. And Charles is just missing the corner of his fucking front wing.
He was the Terminator today.
And he's still outpacing Carlos.
Faster.
That is what was the craziest thing. It's that Charles Leclerc...
And Ferrari was saying, it is only 5 points of downforce. Do not worry. And then Brundle was like, that's not 5 points of downforce. That is so much more downforce. His car is so fucked up. They're just saying that to keep him, like... confidence.
Well, the pace reflected it today, which it goes, you know what, watching this race today made me think of like when I first started getting into Formula One, and I was kind of like, if a little thing breaks, who gives a fuck? Why do you come in? It feels like sometimes they're like, like a little thing broke. Well, we have to bring the car in to make sure that the car is perfect in order to do this race. But Charles Leclerc just had the fucking edge of his front wing missing the entire race, and it didn't seem to bother him much at all. Because Carlos Sainz had a fully operational car, and Charles Leclerc was putting it on him and saying, I have the better pace than you.
Charles Leclerc is just way faster than him,
dude. Of course. I get that. That is also true. If
Charles Leclerc versus clone Charles Leclerc with the same car, one with a broken wing, one with not, it wouldn't even be close.
Right.
But I mean, look at Verstappen. Against Mick Schumacher. Verstappen with like 3 wheels. It's like, you're not, and at the end of the race, it's like, you're not fucking getting past me. Are you crazy? I am not letting you get past me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
It's just
two things can be true at once, though. And I think that Charles Leclerc can clearly, with a damaged car, be outpacing Carlos Sainz, but also, who gives a fuck if a little thing breaks off of your car? Don't come in and put in a new wing just because I was curious when he was going to come in for his pit stop. I was like, are they going to give him a whole new front wing? Like That would be what in the video game. If you're playing the F1 video game, they would absolutely 100% give you a new front wing. It would take another 15 seconds off your time. Be like,
and the video game, they're like, come in. I'm like, nah.
Come in. No, I'm like, fuck you. Why the fuck do I need to come in? It's so much slower for me to take these 20 seconds to come in, where I can just I'm doing pretty good without this little piece. So who gives a shit? It's I mean, yeah, he was driving like a beast. He was driving like a beast.
A warrior.
Today.
He was a warrior. Yeah, but Carlos Sainz, he's trying to stay ahead of these fucking monsters of these of it's the movie Jaws. Yeah, is what it is.
Right.
He goes way off.
No.
He goes why? He fucking muffs it.
Well, Verstappen was putting the pressure on him. He had the pace. At one point, Carlos said, like, you know, he's a lot quicker. That Verstappen was just quicker.
Yeah, he goes, he's quicker. Yeah.
And Catherine's dad goes, is that about the car or just because he's a better driver? And I was like, both. it's both of those things. Yeah, he's putting it on him. And he forces him into an error. I mean, he forced him into an error because he's trying to outpace the Red Bull, which he didn't have the ability to do. And then that's when the drama between Charles and Carlos started to happen, because Charles just, I mean, on the radio time and time again being like, can you get this bitch out of my way?
No, that was my favorite part of the whole thing. Is that the Ferrari just being indecisive,
right?
Kind of negligent parents being like, "Just work it out, you two."
Yeah.
You know, right? I'll be in the other room,
right?
And then they go, you know, Carlos, you got to give us a 32.9. There was a number that he had to hit,
right?
And then Carlos goes, "Oh, I'm just recharging my battery. Like,
right.
Give me one more lap." He was like, he was like late with the loan. I just need more. I'll get you the money. Just give me one more week. Give me one more week. I got your money.
I'm not liquid yet. But I got some stuff coming in, and I got you. Okay, you know me.
He goes. I could give you a 32.9. I just got to charge my battery a little bit, and then you check. The check is in the mail. Bonotto.
The
check is in the fucking.
It's postmark, baby. You took the check.
And then it was amazing because the next lap it was a 33.1. He did not hit the 32.9.
Right.
And then they go, Carlos, you need to keep pushing. Push.
Yeah.
He goes,
yeah.
You know, and then it's just.
Well, at some point they were said like you guys can fight it out, and I was like, let's go, let's. But then they did. But then ultimately they didn't.
No, and then they go, no, you missed the part where Charles goes, are we fighting or not?
Right.
And they go, we'll get back to you. Like when I called to get my Nespresso fixed, and they're like, hold please. It's like customer service. Do 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 do. It's like they should play classical music while they put these fucking guys on hold.
Right.
And then finally they're like free to fight, and then they decide no free to fight.
Right.
They just swap them.
Right.
And by the way, Hamilton's like Pac-Man going nom 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 nom.
Yeah.
Like getting closer and closer to them as these two. We thought Mercedes was incompetent, but this is just a new level of incompetence.
Yeah.
Just fucking, and they're like, and Hamilton set a new fastest lap, like as these two fucks are arguing
with their fucking parents about what to do.
And it's so clear what has to happen, which is gets Carlos Sainz out of the fucking way. He's so much slower than Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, I mean, he's slower than him with Charles. That's a broken car. I mean, what are we talking about?
When Verstappen got knocked out of the race, I was like, "This is the best thing ever to watch." Now we get to watch these incompetent fucks blow this shit.
Yeah. Ruin it for
absolutely themselves. Blow it. They're being handed this thing on a silver fucking platter.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc has a real chance to like be closer, way closer in the championship standings, and they're gonna fuck this up. They're gonna colossally fuck this up. It was so chef's kiss. I mean, I really like Charles Leclerc, so that I didn't like. But in terms of just Ferrari being incompetent, It was the best day of my life.
I mean, there was a tweet that was popping off that was, at this point, the champion fight is actually Charles Leclerc versus Ferrari. I mean,
and then at the and then the pit stop.
Yes.
When they don't pit him under safety car, that was the finale where they pit everybody. Sainz pits, Hamilton pits, Lando pits, Alonso pits. Well, actually, Lando pit a little late and he fucked himself. But
right.
Everybody, because Ocon, his luck ran out. The luck fairy left Ocon and transferred to Sainz.
Yeah, I think the luck fairy might have been listening to our podcast and said, you know what, I think that Fernando Alonso has had enough. I think it's time to shift my focus to
Carlos Sainz.
SD Bestie, as some like to call him. SD Bestie, who's Bestie? Not my Bestie, let me tell you that much.
Yeah. So Carlos Sainz, who sounds like a little Muppet. He sounds like he sounds like Kermit the goddamn frog.
He does have a Kermit the
frog.
I
think he's so hot, and then I hear him talk, and I'm like, just shut up. Stop talking. I'm a smooth operator.
I know, but you know what? It's like I was really happy for him today. I was happy
fuck
for
him.
I was happy for him. Why do you hate him?
No.
What's your damage with Carlos Sainz?
He's not fast.
But
who would you rather have? Who would you rather have, him or Perez?
I'd rather have Perez. Yeah.
Thank you. He scammed his way into this one. He's like, give me another lap. I got this. He's a scammer. He was negotiating. And then
but that's why I like it. It's like I don't think he's like a future world champion necessarily, but I'm like I like his fucking craft. I like that he's smarter.
It's PR. Everyone's like, Carlos Sainz is good. He's good. They shouldn't do team orders. I'm like, they should absolutely do team orders. This isn't even a gray area. It's like Carlos Sainz has fucking blue pilled everybody into thinking this is anything other than like the fact that people are like debating this question.
Right. I mean,
that this is even a close. Charles Leclerc just murders him in qualifying every week,
but not this week, babe.
And they're like,
this week, Carlos Sainz is on pole. This week he had a better week than Charles Leclerc altogether.
Right, but here's the thing: they say, well, Mercedes they let Nico and Hamilton fight it out. I'm like, yeah, because one of them was going to win the championship.
Right, definitely.
One of them was going to win.
Yeah, who cares if they crash? If they crashed in Spain? Who gives a fuck? They're going to win regardless.
Right. Mercedes is playing with house money.
Right.
Toto knows Lewis is going to win the championship or Hamilton's going to win the championship. Either way, America's winning, so we can let them fight because our dick is that huge.
You just said Lewis or Hamilton,
Ferrari.
just to let you know.
Sorry.
I know.
Nico is going to win.
Yeah.
Nico is going to win or Hamilton's going to win. Either way, America's winning. Ferrari and Red Bull, they need to do everything right.
Right.
So when they say, well, Mercedes has a racing culture, Mercedes' car is so superior that they can do that.
Right.
Anyway, so anyone who says, well, Mercedes does it, is stupid, is a fucking moron. Because Mercedes wouldn't do it if their car was less competitive.
Yeah,
they would have to make the tough decisions.
100%. And what you do in that situation instead, and you don't pit both the guys. I mean, you could, and you could maybe try to double stack it, but they didn't have. I don't know if they had enough time to really get the wheels ready for a double stack.
You do what's best for Charles Leclerc, and you throw Carlos Sainz to the fucking wolves because he had a million chances. Yeah. He's got the same car as him.
Right.
If he wanted to compete for the championship, he should race better. He should race better.
I mean, he's nowhere near it. He's nowhere near the top of the thing. He's like seventh or eighth.
And what was hilarious is that they fuck up the pit for Charles, and they realized someone figured it out as they had 11 seconds to make a decision of whether the pit they didn't have as much time with Carlos Sainz because he was behind, so they had more
They had like
time
12,
with Carlos Sainz.
they had like 13 seconds for fucking Carlos Sainz. He was right behind.
No, they had 11. They had 11, right. But I realized something. For 11 seconds, Ferrari can't decide if they want to jump out of a burning building within 11 seconds. they can't make it they can't make the simplest decision. 11's like they ask them questions and they're the only team that I've heard say, "Hold, please." They put their literal drivers on hold with cruise. How do you not know this? How are you deciding? It's so fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
Oh, and then their solution. This is their solution to the problem. Is they go Operation Human Shield. They go, Carlos, can you just slow the pack up?
That's the craziest part of this whole thing.
It was too little, too late.
It was so little, so late, and it's like no. As stupid, I've been watching this shit for like barely a year. Podcaster looked at that and went, "Oh, Charles is a sitting duck. He's fucked." Everyone behind him is on fresh softs, including his fucking teammate. And it's bunched the fuck together. He's fucked. He's just a fucking sitting duck waiting to get slaughtered. And then they're telling Carlos, and then he's like, he's pleading with them. Because at this point, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, please. He's literally saying, please, please, please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. He's saying, please don't massacre me.
Look how they massacred my boy.
He's like, you've been massacring Charles all year long. Don't do it to me. And you know what?
No,
this
but
goes
here's
to
the
my
thing:
little.
is they've
this goes a little bit to my.
They blew it. They blew it because now Carlos Sainz won and is mad at them.
I don't know if he's mad at them.
No, because if they had their way,
I get what you're saying.
I
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, they did.
At that point, they should have cut their losses and give it. They tried to. They fucked. Here's what happened. They fucked Charles Leclerc by accident.
Right.
They tried to fuck Carlos Sainz on purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
And Carlos Sainz won the race, and it's like if you guys had your druthers, like neither of us would have won.
Right. We both
would have lost.
Yeah. Right.
Fucking Perez would have been hoisting that trophy right now.
Yeah.
Charles Leclerc got 6 points off of Max today. Inexcusable. As the problematic YouTube video once said, unforgivable.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. He should have won that race. He should have won that race.
That battle at
he should
the
have
end.
25
after
fucking
the
points.
reset.
Unreal.
After the reset.
Unreal.
I gotta say, Leclerc is a fucking warrior.
Yeah.
He fought so hard.
Yeah, tooth and nail. I mean, he fought.
Leclerc is getting battled by Perez, and then Lewis Hamilton does the sick, like, I'll just fucking take both of you.
Oh, double.
I'll
you
do
know
the
what?
double kill.
The double kill. We got to get that button.
We got to get that on the soundboard.
We got to get that on the soundboard.
Lewis Hamilton's like, don't mind if I do.
And what happened to him there? What happened to him there? Because he got the bad I was confused as to what happened.
Because they put him on the hards. They put him on the hards.
No, he was on softs, man. He was on softs.
They put him on the softs. Sorry, they put him on the softs. The softs.
And that's worse? Why is that worse?
They take a while to. I don't know. I think he was.
Everyone else was on fresh softs too.
He was loving those mediums.
Horned up for those mediums.
He was like a beautiful woman under a waterfall, just like letting it all fall over him. He's like, tires are good, man. Tires are good. He was loving those mediums.
He was loving those mediums.
He was struggling under the softs. I mean, he just doesn't have the same touch with the softs as a Nicholas Latifi does on the start. I mean, we got to give a shout out to Nicholas Latifi, who got into Q3.
He got into Q, motherfucker.
I was so happy for him, I got to say.
I was pumped as fuck.
I was so happy. And I don't think I wasn't watching that that P10 spot, praying that he was going to get a point.
I know.
And he just
didn't. Yeah, it wasn't meant to be.
I was praying for Mick Schumacher to flame out. Everyone's turned against GoTV, and
in the mic, babe, you gotta be in the mic the whole time. It's just like I'm watching you diving, and it's just you're.
I'm pretty good. I've been pretty good.
You've been okay.
I've been pretty good.
Fucking that battle.
Look-
Mick Schumacher. Okay. Mick Schumacher. At the end of that race, I was yelling at him.
Why? 'Cause
Screaming
he's trying to get by for Verstappen.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I was
What are you
like,
doing?
take your fucking
Take your
cookies
points
and
and
go
go
home.
home.
Take your
Go
points
home.
and get the fuck out of here, okay? You are about to coast through getting this monkey off your back, but you're trying to get ahead of Max Verstappen. He'll put a car on fucking top of your head before he lets you through.
Max
like-
is going out like no bitch.
Max is not going out like that. He's like, who gives a fuck? He's in 8th. What does he really care about 8th place points?
Yeah.
He doesn't really
It's
care
a
that
point
much
of
about
pride.
It's a point of pride.
He's going to pride. I'm not going to let Mick Schumacher overtake me in a Haas over
For his
over
first
his
Formula One
literal
points
dead
ever?
body.
No.
Over
Yeah.
his literal dead body. Is he letting Mick Schumacher? What does he think he's doing?
What are you doing, son? Just get the monkey off your back and you can start. If he had, I mean, can you imagine if he had crashed?
I was begging I was like, Max, just, you got this championship. Ferrari's fucking incompetent. Nobody's as fast as you. Just take this for the insolence. You're going to send it on Max Verstappen in a Haas? With 0 points to your fucking name? Do you know how much Jos Verstappen had to be in the limelight, be in the shadows of your father?
Right.
Jos
Right.
Verstappen. Verstappen was the Perez / Sainz / Butler
never won a fucking Formula One race.
/ he was the number 2. He was the Cal Naughton to Ricky Bobby.
Right.
He is not letting
The
the son
offspring
the offspring of
fucking
Michael
guy.
Schumacher send it.
Yeah.
Sends it on him. No fucking way. Jos Verstappen was like, under no circumstances is that kid ever getting one over on you.
Right. No, and Max doesn't even need to be told that. He just knows. It's not like Jos has to say anything to him. He's just like,
he might let Magnussen send it on him.
Yeah, Magnussen's different.
Yeah, Magnussen's different. But this is primal.
Right. Yeah, I was like, son, you need to calm the fuck down. Also, there was in that last.
He's a literal golden retriever. He's too eager. Too eager.
Yeah, but he got his points. He got the monkey off his back. Everyone's happy for him. I'm like, fine. But there was a moment during that restart for those last like 10 laps or whatever, where when Hamilton was slow on the uptake, Fernando Alonso was was sniffing that ass.
Yeah. He had no business being there in the fucking Alpine. It was like the Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Mercedes, and Alonso. It's just
Wait,
he's
so
like
how did
the dog? He's
Yeah.
he's the buzzard,
right?
just circling, just waiting to pick up the fucking scraps
Right.
after a huge battle. I fucking love that man.
He's the best. I
He
mean, you
looked
said
so good today.
yeah. You said
Dude,
that
his
video
hair- his
of,
hair was
of
perfect.
Daniel Ricciardo. You said that video of Daniel Ricciardo like getting like listening to some pump up music with his beats.
He
like,
looked like he was just like
like you only
palms
got
sweaty,
one stop.
knees
What up? Yeah, arms are heavy. Just vomit on the sweater already. Like warm spaghetti, or how you say it in Australian. And then like it cuts to Fernando Alonso, who's just sitting there raw dogging reality, no headphones in, just staring at the screen, being like, "When do I get to get back in the car and destroy people's lives?"
he's a literal robot.
So wait, what happened?
That
with
was the
Norris
best.
today?
Whoever did that, whoever like was in the control room was like, and cut. Academy fucking award. That was the perfect cut.
Wait, what happened with Norris at the end there? Like he pitted at the wrong time.
He
so
pitted
fucked
at the
himself?
wrong time, and then Alonso just got him.
Right.
Got him on the safety car. He passed him on the safety car.
Passed him on the safety car.
Yeah, he should have had.
Yeah.
He finally some luck for Alonso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Fucking Fucking Ricardo head bopping his way to P13 while Lando gets P6.
Yeah.
What a fuck! This was the best race I think I've ever seen.
It was so amazing.
What a performance! I gotta say, what a performance by Perez. What a performance by Leclerc. Those two were really just because Leclerc did not give up.
No.
When Hamilton got him, he got Hamilton back on a old tires with a broken wing.
Yep. And Hamilton threw a little bit of shade towards Max Verstappen, which I think he has every right to do after the week that Max Verstappen had and after the week that Lewis Hamilton had. But he said something to the effect of, hold on, let me find the quote. He said, "What a great battle. Very sensible driver." He's talking about Leclerc. Clearly a lot different to what I experienced last year. Cops, for example, the two of us went through no problem. So he was big up in Charles Leclerc for racing hard but fair.
Well, that's kind of crazy to say that because
considering that Lewis was at fault for that.
Lewis
crash.
Was at fault at Silverstone.
Yes, but
the essence of what he was saying is correct.
Yeah. Throwing a little bit of shade towards Max Verstappen after Max Verstappen defended his father-in-law, saying that he's actually a really chill guy.
Oh, my God.
Crazy.
Well, he goes, hold
on. Before we get into that, I think we got a couple more advertisers that we got to
Yeah.
Okay, you sexy little Vankas. This episode is brought to you by motherfucking Blue Chew. Okay, you've heard it before. You'll hear it again. Blue Chew is a fucking unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Okay, so if your dicky ain't worky and you need a little helpy making your dicky go boom boom pow, got that rocking my style. I got that bad shit. You may not pack shit. Wow. This is taking Blue Chew and using Blue Chew is like watching this race, but for your dick. Okay. They help men combat all forms of erectile dysfunction. It's an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no Pinoto wagging his fucking finger at you when you're mad that you have to come into the doctor's office and you're mad that your dick don't work, okay?
Yeah.
If you're mad that your dick don't work, you don't want someone shaking their fucking finger in your face, you go to BlueChew.com
and ladies don't do that or men don't do that because that just makes the problem worse.
Yeah. It's just like half the time it's a mental issue. It's like, it's sometimes it's a physical issue, but it's like sometimes you just got to get it out of your head and you got to take a chewable tablet and you got to go to BlueChew.com to get it. They send the packages in a discreet form so no one knows that it's that. It's simple. You go sign up at BlueChew.com, consult a licensed medical provider, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online, okay? And we have a special deal for our listeners. You can try Blue Chew for free. That's free, okay? That's fucking $0 when you use the promo code REDFLAGS at checkout and you just pay $5 for shipping. You just pay for them to ship it to you. You go to BlueChew.com, use the promo code REDFLAGS, and receive your first month of chewable tablets for free.
Yes, and that fucking ad was brought to you by Podcorn.
That's right. You know where we got that advertiser? On Podcorn.
Podcorn, yeah.
And Podcorn's a really cool website that you can use if you're a podcaster. And if you're a podcaster and you want to use Podcorn, you can go on there and you can upload your podcast. They'll see your numbers, see how well you're doing, and then you can submit ads. You can the reality of how we got Blue Chew is that I at 3 a.m. saw that Blue Chew was available and said that's an advertiser for us. And yes. I sent them a little recording of me saying we want to make our listeners' dicks hard with Blue Chew, and then they said, we want to give you money now. And I said, I must have done something right. I finally doing something right. I finally got something right. Yeah, that's last 5 years for your bitch ass. You can just go to Podcorn, okay? So if you have a podcast and you want advertisers, go to podcorn.com and upload your fucking podcast, and you can get advertisers just like the Red Flag. You'd be just like us.
Yeah, but don't steal our fucking Blue Chew pitch. That would be low as fuck. Okay.
Yeah, that would be fucking lame. Don't do that. But make something out of your.
Don't be like Aston
Martin,
okay, and steal our fucking Blue Chew pitch.
Oh my God! In the grid walk today, Martin Brundle was like walking through, and he went up to Lawrence Stroll, who I will say was looking kind of snatched. I was like, someone's been hitting the gym. Someone looks tan. He's got the white beard going real good. And I was kind of like,
yeah, he's ready to sell that team and fire his own fucking son. and just let it all go.
He was ready to cash out his chips. And and Brundle was like, anything, not very well today, not very well in Canada. Like, are there reasons for this? And he went, oh, yes, there are. And he goes, what are they? And he goes, and then he just walked off. Like, I know, yes, there are reasons. The reasons are, that he's going to just murder everyone. If he could kill people that wronged him, he would just do it.
Who's to say that he hasn't?
Good fucking point. Yeah, you can go to podcorn.com if you have a podcast. All right, we got to talk about this week in Formula One, because I thought that's what the whole episode was going to be about, but it was an absolutely psychotic week in the F1 world. Not even to mention what's happening, in the country and, globally with fucking SCOTUS. I mean, we haven't even talked about that yet.
Yep.
I mean, everything's just burning to the fucking ground. SCOTUS fucking came out with they overturned Roe v. Wade, which is just fucking abysmal. It's just, regardless of where, it's like, people have been having this fucking debate for years about like what the fuck, a moral debate. Where does life begin? Blah blah blah. All these things. It's like you can get just so lost in the sauce with that kind of shit, and people are so stuck in their ways when it comes to like, well, this is what I believe. At the end of the day, the studies show and history has proven that like just because getting an abortion is illegal doesn't mean that it doesn't fucking happen. All that does happen is that people get it in an unsafe way and more people die. Okay?
And here's the other thing. Is if we live in a nation where our laws don't reflect our values, we're fucked.
Right. I mean, well, that fucking already.
No, I mean, 70% of our country is in favor is pro-choice.
Yeah.
And I think people get lost in the legalese of it. It's like, well, they weren't really consistent. Because, well, it's actually legally inconsistent to say because the states they left abortion up to the states, but guns they're federally protecting. So that's not going
right.
to none of this is consistent. They're just doing whatever the fuck they want. They lied under oath.
Right.
They said Roe v. Wade was protected.
Right.
And they just do like. Let's not pretend this isn't. They're just doing what they want to do.
Am I crazy, or but I just like thought that like when the Supreme Court like said something that this was law now, it just like meant that was what it was. It just feels like everything's like until in a couple years when we just like look at it again and we just reverse that shit because now they're saying they want to fucking look at gay marriage, they want to look at all these other things. It's just like fucking abysmal and horrible and fucking it just sucks. It just sucks. And we obviously didn't run a Blue Chew ad last week because, fucking men can get dick pills in the mail, but women have to fucking fly to another state to get a fucking medical procedure. It's ridiculous.
What else
is in the news?
Yeah, Nelson piece of shit PK. You know how you know you're a piece of shit? This is how you know this guy's a piece of shit, like sight unseen. He's won 3 fucking World Drivers' Championships, and nobody gives a shit about it. He's won the same as Jackie Stewart and Senna and Prost and Niki Lauda.
But yeah.
But he's nowhere. No one ever cares about him because he's literally that big a bastard.
Yeah, it just seems like he is a piece of shit. I mean, it's like it's one of these things where it's like this happens and you're like, whoa, and people and then I don't speak Portuguese, and the people will be
what's crazy is a lot of people do. A lot of people speak Portuguese, and this never made it any. It's actually like I thought it was like an Alfa Romeo language, but it's actually like more people speak it than Italian. It's
widely spoken. Yeah. Not just in Portugal, like in Brazil.
No, it's Brazil. It's mainly Brazil.
Yeah.
Yes.
And and people were saying it's a lost in translation, and like all these people who speak Portuguese were like, no, it's not lost in translation. That's what he said. That's what he meant. That's like what it means in that thing. And
there apparently is there is a problematic usage of it where it's like a term of a greeting. But that's not how he said it. He was talking. Right. He wasn't greeting someone. He was talking about Lewis Hamilton. So, so like, even if you were like, okay, he wasn't even greeting somebody.
Also, he's talking about Lewis Hamilton as the fucking tooth and nail battle between Lewis and his future son-in-law is happening. Yeah. It's not like the people in the PK camp are like, Lewis is an awesome guy. It's like, no, they fucking don't like Lewis. Yeah. That's the fucking vibe.
He's also like, no one. It took another week for someone to like listen to the rest of the interview. Is Portuguese like Aramaic? I don't understand. Like it took. Is it Yiddish? Is it some dead language that nobody over here speaks?
Why? What else?
He called it,
yeah.
It leaked that he said something homophobic about Lewis too, which I found. Which
he has a history of as well.
Well, because he called Senna homophobic, and this is my favorite.
He didn't call Senna homophobic.
He called Senna. He applied Senna was gay, and this is actually my favorite thing that I've ever learned. He called Senna gay, but here's the irony: is he was threatened by Senna because Senna was the hot shot Brazilian guy.
Yeah,
and here's the crazy thing: is according to a Playboy interview, it's heavily implied that Senna fucked his wife. So yeah. This is the Playboy interview, okay, that Senna gave. Playboy, you had a close relationship with Catherine, PK's current wife, before they got married, didn't you? Senna, we didn't have a close relationship, but ... I knew her. Playboy, what do you mean? Senna, in parentheses, emotionally, I knew her as a woman. That's all. I knew her as a woman. Okay? So maybe in Brazilian, gay means he fucked my wife, and that's gotten lost in translation.
Yeah, sometimes there's things that get lost in translation. In Portuguese, then Senna saying that I knew her as a woman might mean something else. That he's actually queer. Which who knows? Maybe Senna fucking dabbled. Maybe Senna was. Who gives a fuck? But when Piqué's saying that, he's saying that from this homophobic fuck Senna kind of place. Yes. Also, there was an interview where they're talking about Senna, and they say, "Who was the better driver, you or Senna?" And he goes, "Well, I'm alive," and laughs. And then even the guy in the interview goes, "Oh, that's harsh."
That's harsh.
They were like, Jesus
fucking Christ.
Speaking of also, so fuck Nelson Piqué.
He also, wait.
Yeah.
His son was in the Formula E championship, and he was in the race to win it. Okay, this is according to a documentary. Yeah. He was in the race to win it. In London, the championship deciding race, he won the race. His father wasn't there. His father did not attend the race. Nelson Sr. did not attend the race. And he was in London. He called Nigel Mansell's wife ugly. Okay, he insulted Nigel Mansell's wife. He drove a very problematic their very problematic president, Jair Bolsonaro, around. I mean, he's a
Bolsonaro stan.
He's a Bolsonaro
who is like quintessential corrupt politician. Like Trump, but let's bring it to an 11.
But Trump is like Anthony Fauci compared to him when it came to the COVID policies. So his thing was let everybody get it as quick. Let's get to her as quickly as possible, no matter how many people die.
It seems like the more you dig, the more you find when it comes to Nelson Piqué.
There's no I haven't read one thing about him that go, oh, that's nice.
Right,
there's nothing ameliorating about anything.
Max Verstappen did say that he's a pretty relaxed guy.
He's pretty chill,
and that he's definitely not a racist, and that he's a pretty relaxed guy.
And also, to Max's defense, he said he was against racism.
Right.
We racist one guys. I mean, the thing is, I feel like what's also crazy is I feel like literal Klansmen don't see themselves as racist. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
Like people who are actually racist, they don't see themselves as racist. Racists in our country, and I won't speak for other countries, they're like, I'm not racist. I just I feel like our country's values are under attack, and these immigrants are coming here illegally and taking our jobs. They have a non-racist in their head rationale. They're like, I'm against racists too. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So to say that you're against racism and racism is wrong.
It's like saying I like music.
Yeah. There's certain people, I've heard people say they don't like music. But anyway.
I don't really like music.
You just sing all that. That's a fucking shocker.
Well, speaking of that interview with Nelson Piqué where he said that, I'm alive, so I must be better than Senna. And then the guy was like, Jesus, that's rough. That's harsh. Yuri Vips if this week couldn't get any fucking more insane, Yuri Vips, Formula 2 driver, was on a fucking live stream because these fucking kids...
A Twitch.
Yeah, a Twitch live stream
playing
video games. I mean, can we get these children off of the fucking internet?
He's not a kid. He's 21.
You're right. He's not a kid, but he's 20. He's 20.
He's
it's
young.
Like, he's young. He should be on. I mean, fucking idiot. And he fucking is playing the video thinking he's like...
Brian, though, I will say, I'm not saying you've said anything like slurry to me, but you have never been more angry than when you've lost to me in a video game.
Yeah,
like it brings out the worst in people. It really does.
It's just
you should not be playing video games with your friends publicly, live, like for the world to see, because that is you at your worst. I mean, some people at their worst are worse.
Well, the last time we played video games, you said that I'll always be that little fucking kid from middle school, and I called you an alcoholic.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. We literally didn't talk for 2 weeks after we played video games.
We didn't talk for 2 weeks after we played, but he wasn't even saying it out of anger. He was saying it out of like something else. I mean, it's just, and then just fucking says the N-word on a live stream.
I beat Brian in a video game, and I said you'll always be that little child, that little boy who lives in the closet. And Brian said, well, you're just a fucking sad alcoholic. And that's how we ended the night. And I beat him in 2K by 3 points. It was so fucking brutal.
Yeah, but that's not really an excuse for Yuri Vips. I'm sorry.
No, I know. No, but I'm saying it's why you shouldn't play video games publicly.
Also, you shouldn't fucking be dropping N-bombs because you're a fucking idiot. And it's like, that's just crazy. It's just like,
and then they were like, well, Red Bull hasn't said anything about the PK thing, and I go, well, because they would have to. They only have one statement. They'd have to. They have the one like, we hate racism. We stand against it. It would literally. They've only prepared one statement. They would have to copy and paste. They're not prepared.
Right.
And
but meanwhile, Yuri Vips was racing today. I watched the F2.
Well, no, because Red Bull dropped him, but High Tech, his team, did not.
Right.
Which I can't believe. I can't believe that Max could. I mean, that you could get suspended. They hand out penalties for like Max touching car. Max touching a car.
Right.
But if you drop an N-bomb, you don't get something.
Yeah, I mean,
like the F2, the FIA isn't like, okay, that's a race ban. That's 2 races. That's 3 races.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
He's racing like 3 days later. It's kind of insane.
I mean, what if he hit another driver?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
but I want to. So
Jesus.
What? So yeah, no. So people were hating on Max for his sort of vanilla response,
right?
And it was vanilla. He did do the bare minimum. He said what he said was incorrect, which is probably like the bare minimum of what you can say.
Right.
He said it was incorrect. He is not a racist. He's a pretty chill dude. I mean, there are probably a lot of chill racists out there. Like being chill does not they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
But I want to say though, what Max did not really condemn him. His thing was milquetoast, but I do want to say this.
Yeah.
I want everyone that's very mad at Max for his shitty response, and it wasn't great. I want you to think about your most problematic family member. I want you to close your eyes and think about your dumbest, stupidest, most problematic family member. And I want you to imagine that family member has won 3 World Drivers' Championships and is famous. Wouldn't that suck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Max was a bit stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I wouldn't have really expected that much from Max had it not been
I expect absolutely nothing.
I was in some ways actually, when I listened to some of the stuff that he said, I was actually like, he was actually said a little bit more than I was expecting him to say.
I was expecting him to be like, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, yeah.
So because he called him, but I actually think, we're a little harsh on Max. I think he's just loudly the asshole. But I think if we dug into like some of these guys' politics, we'd be fucking horrified.
Sure.
And if you actually like look, like when Lewis took a knee, half the guys didn't take a knee.
Yeah.
You know, not to call out people, but like if we want to get into like who's woke and who's not, I think it's most of them are not.
Yeah. I mean, not even that many. I mean, people like said we're like we support Lewis or we stand with Lewis, like in interviews or like like in the press conference kind of thing. But like very few of them made public statements. Leclerc made a public statement. Ricciardo made a public statement.
And nobody called out PK by name.
Right. Very few people even called out.
And you want to know who did? You know who did? They didn't put out an official statement. They were shitting on Red Bull for not putting out an official statement.
Yeah.
Someone asked Christian Horner, like, "Hey, you haven't said anything about blah," and he was like, "I'm actually appalled by Nelson Piquet's statement." He called him out by name, which no one else, I don't think, did. He said, "I am appalled by Nelson Piquet's statement," and then he said, based on what we did for Yuri Vips, like, I think it's clear how we stand. Although firing Yuri Vips was the easiest thing they've ever done. He's not progressing. He's not doing well.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's mid.
He's mid. So it would have been really interesting if like a top, like the next Max had done it.
Yeah.
Then you're in a fucking pickle. But that's a layup. What to do there?
And I mean, the heats fucking keep coming because Bernie Ecclestone said that he would take a bullet for Vladimir.
I was totally about to do the whole podcast, forgetting that the Godfather of F1, like the David Stern of F1, is literally the evilest man. Well, what about they gave him a million opportunities to change course? They go, well, what about They go, well, because he's a stand-up guy. He's classy. He's very – they go, well, what about the Ukraine? And he goes, well, we're all businessmen. We all make mistakes. I go, what the we're all businessmen. He's a world leader. He's a leader of a country. This is not a business. That's such a Donald Trump thing to say. But what do you mean we're all businessmen? When Brian and I, we got the wrong microphones. We've made some business decisions that we've made mistakes.
Yeah.
None of our business decisions have gotten thousands of people killed.
Yeah.
Are going to put this world in the crapper with gas prices and recession. You want to talk about business mistakes? He's fucking putting the whole world in the crapper, let alone killing thousands of people. I mean, is he just doing a troll thing? I mean, it's hard for me to believe that this is that he seriously think he would actually take a bullet for Putin. Speaking of bullets, he was busted on a gun charge a couple of weeks ago in Brazil.
I mean,
I gotta say, I'm just so glad he's not Jewish because I looked at him like, is he Jewish? He's 5'3".
His name's Bernie.
His name's Bernie. I was just like, it was like my only relief is that he's
not Jewish. Okay,
he's not Jewish. Thank you. And he's got stone at the end.
Yeah. That would be like it. I mean, that's like
bad for us.
There is like a weird like that. Like there are those sect of Jews who are like Trump's the best and like fuck and like I love Putin and like
no. It's because he bangs he just bangs for Israel hard.
Right.
Trump.
Right.
He once drew a circle around the West Bank and wrote "nice," like in a map. Like he just.
Right.
There are some Jews that just have no qualms about that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that we don't know. We got to do, guys. If you know anything, if you know Bernie facts, just start emailing us trfpod@gmail.com because I want to do a deep dive into Bernie.
Yeah, we got to figure out.
We got to figure out what the fuck is the deal with Bernie because it's so interesting. Because when we had Willie T. Ribbs on the pod,
he's like, I love Bernie.
I love Bernie because Bernie was really invested in getting the first black driver into F1 a million years ago. And he called him Uncle Bernie.
Right.
And you know what? Willie T. Ribbs talked about how he had way more time getting into NASCAR than he did F1, and how Europe was a way more inclusive environment to a
but
person
who knows?
of color.
I don't know. I'm like it might be different now. It might be. It's a much more globalized world than I think it was back then. I think it's like with the internet and everything. I just feel like there's like people popping up all over the place, and I feel like in certain ways maybe it's gotten.
No, but vis-a-vis Bernie.
Worse. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, it's like at some point I'm like, can we just muzzle these old men? Can we just muzzle them? But at the same time, it's like, it's like if you don't expel the thing, how are you going to know where the disease really is? So it's in a certain way, it's like, you know where it fucking is.
Yeah, Hamilton's just. I mean, Jackie Stewart said he should retire, and he was like pissed about that.
Everyone's fucking talking shit about it. I mean, I was rooting for him so fucking hard today. He always delivers in Silverstone, and after this whole week that he's had. I mean, Jenny tweeted something to the effect of, like, he needs something, like, he just continues to fuck. Can we get him some paid time off from rising the fuck above it? Please.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
he was there palling with fucking Tom Cruise, who, like, you don't really want to know what he really thinks about everything either. But
I don't want to know what he thinks about, like, how the universe works.
Right. But yeah, I mean, Hamilton acting like a class act as usual, and having a great race today. All right, should we do our award ceremony?
Yeah, I just want to say one fun fact that I learned this week.
Yeah, what'd you learn?
Guess how many followers Christian Horner has?
How many followers
Instagram.
on what?
Don't look it up. How many Instagram followers do you think?
1.2 mil.
1.8.
1.8.
How many followers do you think his wife Ginger Spice has?
Oh my God. 8.2.
1.2.
1.2, really?
Christian Horner has more followers than Ginger fucking Spice.
That's
one
crazy.
Of my favorite facts that I know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So, yeah.
She could bump that up if she wanted to. She could bump that up if she wanted to.
Yeah,
that's her choice. That's literally
what's with the white all the time? We got to have a fashion person. It's a
she's
little
always wearing
culty.
cream. She's always wearing cream.
It's a little culty.
Yeah,
she's part of a cult. Also, I want to give a shout out to Keanu Reeves while we're talking about celebrities. Keanu Reeves was in the paddock, but then in qualifying, he was in the rain, standing with the marshals, with his hair fucking slick wet like John Wick. That was so fucking cool. One of the most underrated guys. Started the Matrix. Started the Speed franchise. Started.
Was that
John
a franchise?
Wick.
Did they do multiple speeds?
They both did multiple speeds. Multiple speeds. Multiple John Wicks. Multiple Matrixies. I'm probably missing one, honestly.
I mean, he's a
like
fucking
low key. Bill
and Ted, babe. He's a fucking legend.
Bill and Ted's coming back.
Right, yeah, they're gonna do a new one. All right, let's get into our award ceremony, ladies and germs. Hottest moment of the day.
Ooh, there's a couple here. Can we just debate? Can we just caucus here?
Yeah.
Hottest moment of the day was either Hamilton's like double kill. This was in qualifying, but Max's fucking sick ass spin. And he still put in a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two nommies.
Yeah. Those are probably the ones. Max's 360. Also, we've already talked about it a little bit, but George Russell in hero mode, jumping out of the car,
That's probably a daddy nom.
I found it to be hot. Protect me, baby. What else would be considered a hot moment of the day? I'm gonna give it to Nick. You know what I'm gonna give the hottest moment of the day to? I'm gonna give it to Nicholas Latifi getting into Q3. And you know what? Being pretty cash about it. On the radio, what he should have been like was, "Oh my fucking God, I'm in Q3. What the fuck? This is the greatest day of my life." And what he actually said was like, "Let's just keep working hard, guys." And I was like, Latifi, you got to soak this in, honey. You got to soak it in.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, dude. I'm like, dude, smell the roses. I mean, if not now, when? If not now, when?
Days are numbered.
I think that to me spoke to like he's losing his seat very soon.
Right.
And they gave Albon this insane upgrade, and they didn't give it to him. And he's a little. Yeah. I read that he's a little butthurt about that, but like, what do you expect?
Right. Yeah, of course. But then it was like the upgrade clearly wasn't that good, so it was.
Well, we don't know if the upgrade was good. It was raining. He might have. There were other circumstances that might have contributed to that. So let's say hottest moment of the day was Latifi getting into Q3.
All right, yeah. All right.
And he's like, act like you've been here before. Even
act
though
like you've been here. Act like you've been
he never
here,
has
son.
and never will.
All right. Daddy of the day.
It's got to be Binotto.
Oh, yeah.
Binotto waving his fucking finger, all 6'4" of him towering over, full abusive father being like, you're not going to tell your fucking mother about this, okay? Stop crying. You fell.
Yeah, that's right. Don't ruin your brother's big day with your tears, okay? Don't make me ground you. Don't make me ground you.
After fully fucking him.
Yeah.
Having the audacity to scold him.
Yeah.
Look at the mask of my boy.
And Charles,
you just
Charles
heard
there.
Yeah, you just heard this while it was happening.
They were like, you took an oath, omerta. It's a code of silence.
Yeah, I mean, ask fucking Alan Prost what happens when you speak out against the divorcee.
Yeah, he said he drove like a fucking mail truck, and they fired Prost. And because they're like, listen, Charles, Brundle was kind of like, he was kind of guessing. He was like, listen, don't speak ill of Ferrari. You get to drive the Ferrari car. You get the honor of driving for Ferrari.
Right.
So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what honor? What honor is it to drive for these fucking clowns at this point? Right. You know?
Right.
1 second, guys.
Sorry. I was like, what's playing? And it was the fucking... Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, so fuck Binotto.
Yeah, so Binotto
problematic
gets
daddy of the day. Yeah.
Daddy of the day for scolding Charles after screwing up his race.
After fucking him, and Charles like, I don't even care. Like, whatever.
I would say my daddy of the day... what would my daddy of the day be? I'll give my daddy of the day to just like Lewis the whole week, just rising the fuck above it and acting like a class act and, you know, and still having a fucking great race. You know, he's just the man. He's the fucking man. And Roscoe,
he was a shit.
and you know, Roscoe loves Coco. Just got to give a big old shout out. You know, while he's battling off racism in the public eye, he still finds the time to write things like, Dad's going to win the race tomorrow, I think. Picture of his bulldog.
It's so crazy because he has this insane team that, and like he has a stylist, he has a publicist, he's got people that are just like, he's got a whole army of people to make him cool as fuck.
Right.
And then he just blows it with this fucking dog.
Yeah.
He just shows that he's like an old man, basically. He's a dad. He lets the dad joke out.
Gen X boomer. Big Gen X boomer vibe. Yeah. Okay, and last but not least, we got our red flag of the day. Now, this segment is sponsored. Matt, we're making cash money on this episode. This segment is sponsored by Flags for Good. Flags for Good.
We will ask for Venmo. We will ask for Venmo.
We'll also ask for Venmo requests at the end of this shit. You better fucking believe it, because we are...
We're trying to go to Austin.
We're going to Austin. We need your help. But... this segment is brought to you by Flags for Good. Flags for Good is a left-leaning fucking flag company. They only make flags that they believe in. You can buy a fucking anti-racism flag at Flags for Good if you want to say a big... And you know what? Maybe you could donate it or put it in fucking Nelson Piquet's name. Do something like that. But you can use our code REDFLAGS for 10% off your first order when you go to flagsforgood.com. And buy yourself a fucking climate change flag. Buy yourself a...
you know what they got now, guys? You know what they got now?
What they got now?
We do this every year. We do this every episode. They actually got a "Don't Tread on Me." They got a uterus flag.
Hell yeah!
So they got one for, you know, what's going on currently with the Roe v. Wade.
And a portion of all of your purchases will go to a relevant charity. So a charity that is in the same line of whatever thing that you are buying a flag supporting. So do something with your goddamn lives. It's the bare fucking minimum. Give the Max Verstappen response. Do the bare fucking minimum and buy a fucking flag at flagsforgood.com. Using red flags at a checkout for 10% off your first order. Okay, what was your red flag of the day?
I mean, it's obviously Ferrari just Ferrari, but I feel like we should zag on.
I mean, obviously, the obvious red flags of the day, the week are Bernie Ecclestone, Yuri Vips, fucking Nelson Piquet, and the entire Ferrari strategy organization.
Right.
But let's think a little bit outside the box because we've already covered all those things. What would be another red flag? I mean, someone said that their red flag of the day was Pierre Gasly on that first turn. Just causing an absolute wreckage, absolute nightmare. My red flag of the day. Okay, I got my red flag.
I'll do it. I'll do one. I'll do another.
I got my red flag of the day is unfortunately Yuki Tsunoda spinning out and bringing and taking out Gasly with him. Just on the same. Brutal.
He also had a radio of the day, honestly, because they were like, "How's the car?" And he goes, "It's fine, but what the fuck?" Like he was like, "Fuck the car." After fully taking out his teammate. I also want to say another red flag. People complaining about the booing.
Yeah.
People like it's the amount of just shit that gets hurled back and forth about who boos who and well, you know, British fans are booing, but they get mad when Lewis gets booed, and it's just like you're allowed to boo, okay?
Right.
And it's like
it's one of like the main things you can do in sport. Is you can cheer and you can boo.
And you know what? You can't do anything else. You're not allowed to do anything else.
Right.
Maybe heckle a little bit.
Right.
Tasteful heckling.
I mean, the fucking the NBA Finals just happened, and there was some fucking maybe tasteless heckling going on. But there was, I mean, a lot worse than booing was happening between the Celtics and the Golden State Warriors.
I mean, if I pay a lot of money, I can call a guy a bum. Okay.
Yeah.
Want to scream that a guy's a bum?
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of going to a Yankees game.
And Lewis gets booed. Max can get fucking booed. People can get booed. It's okay. It can fuel you. Certainly fucking you go to, I mean, soccer hooligans. I mean, it's a lot worse than that.
Let's not hold them up as like, well, they do.
I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying, like, you know, by comparison, these are upstanding citizens. Even though apparently there was some fighting that was happening at Silverstone between I don't know who, but people like went to the hospital because people were, you know, roughing it up. You know, people care about the sport now.
Just shut the fuck up about the booing, okay? It's like you're telling on yourself that you don't understand how sports work, that you've never actually been to a sporting event. It's like. Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And then, but what was funny is I think Lewis said that they should stop booing Max, and Max obviously was like, when Lewis got booed other places, he goes, "It is not my problem." You know, if they want to boo, they boo. It's not my job. I just race.
Yeah.
So,
well, when they asked Max about the booing, they were like, "Did the booing affect you?" He was like, "Yeah, well, I couldn't hear the guy asking me the question, so that was annoying."
Yeah, but. Yeah, he's a fucking.
He does give legendary responses. In the pre-race, they were like, what's it going to take to to win this race today? And he goes, finishing first. I mean, he just stonewalls and gives people absolutely.
He hates the press. He hates. Yeah. He hates the fake news.
He had some. Yeah, media. I mean, yeah. He's a little bit of. You throw him in a dryer, and he's saying some stuff in a couple of years. But he had some radios of the day when his car was just crapping out and he was just screaming, "This is just fucking it's 100% broken."
His car is broken.
Gets eighth and holds off Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, everybody else is like DNFing under that. He's got no floor and he's just literally stonewalling Mick Schumacher.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the best radios were Carlos Sainz. And Charles Leclerc and the negotiating tactics. That was all fucking. Whoever was like, well, we shouldn't be privy to that. I'm like, go, John. So we should just watch the shitty race direction.
Yeah. Carlos Sainz pleading, please let me do this. Don't let me make them hold them up to protect Charles' place. Please, I can get my first win.
And then Carlos is begging when they're telling him to be a literal fucking human sacrifice.
Yeah. All right.
So
okay, ready? Fuck, marry, kill the podium.
So it was Sainz, Lewis,
Perez, and Lewis. All husband material. Gotta say, these are 3 marriage material men.
Yeah, I'm wondering why no one's ever put a ring on it with Lewis.
You know, he's got a lot to accomplish. And I don't know. I believe he's ambitious. He's got like things that he wants to do in society, in the world, and I don't know if I think at some point he'll probably settle down, but he's got too much on his plate. I think that makes me a little bit scared about marrying him because I'm kind of like, does this guy want a relationship? I don't even know.
So yeah. So you fuck Lewis for the story.
And as we've done this before, we've been down this road again. Science are.
I'm killing Science. I do not trust him.
I trust some Science.
No, he's like, I got the lap time. I swear, I can do 32.9. I can do 32.9. Does a lap. They go, Carlos. It's 33.1. It's 33.1. He's a scammer. Oh, I'm just recharging my battery. Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are, Carlos. Such a scammer. You know the other red flag of the day is his fucking cousin in the Patagonia vest.
I know.
He's like, hey, P1! And everyone's like,
get the fuck
out of here.
I know.
He's just like, God, I really don't want to go back to fucking selling fucking bonds or whatever the fuck I was doing before. God damn, he's in an F1 paddock and he looks like in his fucking vest and his khakis. I'm like, you're the coolest sport in the world, and you look like a fucking
JP Morgan like first
Westport,
year.
Connecticut fuckhead.
Yeah,
and you're your fucking glasses.
Yeah,
get link up with Zhou and get yourself taken care of. Anyway,
wait up.
Ferrari
has a whole clothing line. They are a fashion. They're a fashion company as well.
You look like shit, dude.
You're gonna marry Perez. You're gonna kill Sainz.
I don't trust him. He's a scammer.
Yeah,
and he got fucking lucky. He fucking went off today and he won the race because of just a cacophony of just shit.
I'm gonna marry Lewis because I think I can lock him down and we can change this world together. Me and him, hand in hand.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna fuck Carlos and sorry Sergio, but gotta go.
You've married him a couple times this year.
I have, yeah. I mean, he keeps being on the podium because he's fucking good. So I'll get you next time, Booby.
Get you now. I'll bring you back from the dead.
I'll bring you back from the dead next time, Booby.
Okay, we have
anything else?
We have a new section.
Yeah. Okay, and this is we're gonna end on this. We're gonna end on this. If you want to if you want to do some shout outs before we end on this, let's quickly do some shout outs. Some of you have been giving. Some of you have been giving money to the Red Flag Send Us to Austin Foundation, and you can contribute to that foundation by donating to at
Red Flag
Pod on Venmo or PayPal.
Business. Yeah.
In the business, it's a business account because we're a fucking businessman. And we got some shout outs for people that have given us some kashish over the past couple of weeks. So who do we got?
Megana, Courtney, who told us to keep Phoebe Bridgers' name out of our fucking mouths.
Bit lame though. She's a little bit too online, isn't she? She's a little bit too good at being online to be like Joni Mitchell.
Well, Joni Mitchell didn't have the internet, so we can't really compare the cars.
Okay. Well, drivers of different generations.
Different eras. Leah Rivers said to be nicer to Vettel this week because her cat died. Vettel made up 11 places. Vettel got from the back. So yeah,
obviously that goes to Sergio Perez. But also it was cute. Vettel was apparently saying he was screaming in his car. Like, that for Mick to get some points, it's cute. It's cute.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen his face when he was trying to fucking overtake Max like an idiot. Trying to fucking come into the lion's den. I also red flag on him calling himself the Lion. That's so fucking lame. And the whole branding with him.
Let's get through these goddamn. Let's get through them. Let's go.
Austin wants us to shout out his boy Eric. He's 30 now and sad. I'm like, all right. I'm 31, so. Alana, who likes when Jenny said a hot dog down a Tic Tac in a purse.
Tic Tac in a purse instead of hot dog in a hallway.
Julia, just discovered the pod. Praveen, our boy Vinny.
Hell yeah.
Alex, who said for a year of pods you should have been paying for it. Yeah, that's fucking right. Rob, thanks, Rob. And Todd is doing okay after his wellness check. So love you, Todd.
Good. Thank God. I'm glad the Todd's doing okay.
But Todd wants feet pics. He says he thinks he gave enough money for feet pics at this point. Which, Jenny, we'll have to talk to Jenny about that.
Well, he can get a feet pic of fucking you. He has to work his way up to Jenny.
It's a pyramid scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
So
final segment in the spirit of Scuderia Ferrari Tifosi.
So we have a new thing. It's just called Fuck Ferrari. That's the name of the segment. And we are reading we're going to now do every week. We're going to read 1-star reviews of different Ferrari businesses just around the world. So we're starting with the factory. With the factory. So, Brian, do you want to take this?
No,
or do you not have the?
I don't have it. You do it.
So this is a TripAdvisor review from the Ferrari factory. This is JGM from West Sussex in 2011. Worst value, quote unquote, trip in the known universe. For years, I've had a downer on Stonehenge and Shakespeare's birthplace as complete ripoffs and an absolute embarrassment value-wise to the UK. But now I've rediscovered some national pride in our tourist attraction because Ferrari's factory trip is without doubt the biggest ripoff I've ever seen. Several leagues ahead of Stonehenge. Picture the scene. You book in advance. They take your cameras off you and cover up the camera on your phone. Fair enough, you think. Stands to reason, doesn't it? They don't want you photographing their assembly line, industrial secrets and all that. Then they pile you in a bus and drive you off to a laughably named Citadel. Seriously, it's not a factory, it's a Citadel. Where do they think they are? Have we fallen through a hole in space to the Galactic Council on Coruscant or something? Then you drive to a main gate and you're looking eagerly for when you think you're going to park and see the factory. Kids all excited. Hooray! Millions of pounds of cars being put together. But no, they drive you up and down outside the buildings. And there is where we paint the cars. And there is where they assemble the engines. And there is where they have lunch. It's not
Matt,
a fact.
But Matt, you get to see it. You know what I mean? You get to drive outside the Ferrari factory.
And don't you fucking dare badmouth it, because you have the fucking honor of giving us money and seeing this fucking factory, you piece of shit, Charles Leclerc.
All right, keep going.
Without Ferrari, there is no such thing as cars. They drive you outside of the windowless sheds. Whoop-de-doo. All the time, the guy is rabbiting on about Project Uomo or some such garbage. Man, and his environment and harmony or whatever guff the architect told them before submitting his invoice. How apparently it's all carbon neutral. Praise the Lord. Truly, the environment is safe in Ferrari's hands. They're building 6-liter cars that do about 10 liters to the gallon that are designed to punch great holes in the atmosphere, and we're supposed to be impressed that the factory uses solar power to run the AC or something? Do me a favor. Then, to cap it all off, you tour around the race course is canceled because the racing team want to test their new engine, which they probably cheated on. Or they're giving some rich playboy a test drive or something. To be honest, by this time I tuned out totally because I was so enraged at being ripped off. I thought I'd better spend my time managing my blood pressure.
This guy's a legend.
Save your cash and set fire to it instead. At least have the pleasure of seeing it burn. A total waste of money.
I mean, it's like you would have thought that Matt would have gone into into a dark room for a week and just thought this up, but this is just like an actual person in the world who just wanted to enjoy his time at the Ferrari factory, and this is what happened. It just goes to show that Ferrari's not all that.
Ferrari fucking sucks. And and Jenny is back, people.
Yeah,
and
Jenny's
she
back.
wants to shout out her. She went to a wedding.
Yeah.
She went to a big celebrity wedding. She wants to shout out her Irish MVP Ben, the Chicago Chocolate King of Salavino, and her not Irish but Norwegian actor Martin, and and especially Alex. We got to say that Alex sent us $100. So Alex P, you're the fucking man.
Yeah.
And
all right, next race. Your Warlock predictions. What do we got?
Austrian GP.
Austria. Who you got?
My Warlock predictions for Austria. Yeah, Charles Leclerc's bad luck continues. I I think Lewis Hamilton's going to have a horrible race. And I think Max Verstappen is going to fucking run away with this one, and the championship is going to be just decided here. Decisive. Boring race.
That is a Warlock prediction. I think that Charles Leclerc is going to take it. And
just kill everybody. I think he's like
pissed. He's pissed, and I think he's going to take it. And I think he's going to get his. I think he might be able to get a little bit of revenge in Austria, but we shall see. Vankas, this was a fucking epic one. What an epic race! It's days like this that it's just like, oh, I actually did choose right by choosing this fucking sport. It's just it's epic. And we are going to be starting a Patreon soon, so I know that if you know. I know people are sending us $100, but give us $5 a month for some extra content. And until next time, Vankas.
Goodbye, Vankas.
See you later, Vankas.